Welcome to the fish tank.
Hey everybody, Fishman here. A few days ago, as I was prepping for a work day, and of course filming it for future videos, had realized I had not yet done kind of a day in the life sort of video. So I thought I'd bring the camera with me for the day and give you guys kind of at least a little bit of a look on the kinds of things that I do in the run of a typical work day. So my day usually starts off, around about 8 in the morning. I will go in the fish room, feed the fish, do a water change if necessary. It's all automated, so it doesn't take very long to do. And then if there's anything that I need to prep, like this particular fitting right here, I'll do that, and then I'll pack everything up and head out for the day. Now, there's going to be a few spoilers in this video. I'm going to try and keep them short because there are other videos I'm going to be doing. In this particular case, it's not so much of a spoiler, but some of the other tanks that I'm going to show, I'm going to just show little snippets of them, mostly because, well, I guess I should call them more like teasers. Like I said, they're going to be in other videos for other stuff. People have been asking questions for certain types of things, and I want to save those for specific videos. But I will give you little bits of it. So anyway, this particular thing is for the drop-off tank. It's a fitting that's going to fit where the outflow for the tank is, but it needs to be test fitted. So once we get to that part, I'll show you how that all works. This is what I usually do: is I'll empty my toolbox for what I had done the day before, and then fill in the things that I'm going to need for this particular one. So in this case, it's going to be that test fitting for the drop-off tank. That's it there. I need to mark where the water flow is going to go, and these acrylic pieces I put together for the 175 tank build. I managed to break part of the canopy, so I need to fix that. And then I also am doing some videos updates on planters for as filters and such. And that's what this is all for, but just pretend it's not there. You'll get to see all that in a later video, and it's going to be quite interesting. But again, like I said, because it was on this particular day, you get to see little bits of it. So once this is all done, I pack everything all up, and then anyone who wants to do fish maintenance for a living, there is an awful lot of driving. And it's not so bad in the spring like this. But even the spring can have its issues with some sort of weather. But at least it's not snowing or freezing rain or any kind of that sort of nonsense. Anyway, this particular day, I actually had to drive my daughter to work, so she's holding the camera. After I drop her off, it does get worse because I'm just going to prop it up on the dashboard there as I drive along to give you little bits of it. It's about 9 o'clock at this point, and typically that's kind of where I hit the road. It can be a little bit later if my wife needs a ride or whatever else might come up, but typically between 9 and about 3 or 4 in the afternoon, I'm on the road cleaning fish tanks. And again, like I said, today is a little bit different in the sense that I would be doing some test fits and other work as well. So I thought it'd be a bit more interesting for you. Also because, like I said, weather can change. I'm going to show you a bit of the driving here first before we get to the tanks. And about midday, it started doing this. And then by the end of the afternoon, it was just coming down in buckets. So even in the springtime, you can get some interesting weather. So anyway, the first stop for the day, which is way before this, was on this particular day, was the drop-off tank. And like I said, I had to do a test fitting. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the one small corner of it, because I don't really want to show you how it's doing, because like I said, once this particular item's done, it's going to have a bit of waves on the surface, and I want to show an update at the tank at that point. But you can see the plants are doing really well. The water's nice and clear, and all the important things. So this is going to get fitted on. Also, I got to put the camera down for a second because I can't really do this one-handed, and then mark off where I want the water level to be. So that will be, like I said, in a future update. And then I'm going to head off to one of the bigger tanks I do, because it was in roughly the same area, and do a lot of glass cleaning. Anyone doing maintenance for a living you do an awful lot of glass cleaning. And I want to show you this particular one because I like this algae scraper. It was something I built many years ago, and I find it actually the most useful for getting off that harder brown algae that would come up. And if you change the blade regularly and whatnot, it doesn't scratch the glass at all, which is kind of important. So I'm going to skip over a few tanks at this point. It's a lot of repetition. But one particular one I did is, I'm just showing you a little narrow view of this. This is a planter that I'm making. It's also a filter. I had to build this little water deflector to make sure it goes through the sponge. So I was testing that out. You saw me put it in the toolbox, and this is actually some of the brackets and lights that were involved in that as well. And I wanted to get this all hooked up and ready, and I will show you this in a future video. But I wanted to, it was part of this particular day, so I brought it along. And this tank here, I'm really not going to show you any of, because this is definitely for an update later on. But I want to show you a little bit of it because a lot of people thought that this particular tank would be nothing but algae because of the large bay windows. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of it, just to show you that it's doing really quite well. But I did manage to break that back panel, as you saw there, so I had to replace it. And I just wanted to show you kind of the process of that happening. Not going to show you in the acrylic being glued or anything. It's the same as all the other times I do it. And I think you've seen lots of it. So anyway, this panel's just going to get stuck on, and then I'm going to put it all back together, and then go on to the next stop, of course. Actually, I'm skipping over a bunch of aquariums at this point. I think this particular day I did 8 tanks. Obviously, I'm only showing you a few of them. Some of them because I can't really film in their locations, or the tanks are not really that interesting. I like this tank, so I figured I'd show it to you. And I'm going to go through a bit of actual real maintenance on this one. This is near the end of the day. It's after 3 o'clock, and figured I'd finish off with this one. So I'm going to clean the glass. It's just the typical pad. I'm not using the large algae scraper on this one because, well, I can reach quite easily. And then I'm going to do a gravel vacuum and fill the tank back up, and that'll be pretty much it for the day. And then what I'll do is I'll take my buckets and everything else and down to the fish room or shop, whatever you want to call it, and I will unload everything, get everything all set up, feed the fish again. And that's pretty much the run of a day for me. If I have extra building to do, as I do sometimes, after supper I will also do that. I'll go down in the shop after all that's done and take care of that for the day too, for the next day, and then I'll do it all over again. So anyway, thank you very much. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this. This, like I said, is a kind of what I do pretty much every day. Well, about 6 days a week anyway. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this style of video, please like and or subscribe, and I will definitely see you in the next one. And I'll finish this video off by refilling this tank. I like to do it by hose wherever possible. Actually, sometimes I'll do the water change by using a pump and a hose as well, just so I don't have to carry too many buckets. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video, and I'll just show you a last clip of my buckets before I go. Bye for now.